Welcome on in. It's the Sports Wrap. 95.3 WCHE on this Saturday morning, 10 to 11 a.m. every single Saturday. So excited to have you all in for this week's program, man. There's always, I feel like, look, man, I feel like there's been no shortage of things to talk about. Absolutely no shortage of, really fun and exciting things to talk about in the sports world over the last, I feel like I haven't gone into a show being like, man, there's really not a whole lot of super exciting things to talk about. Maybe it was like that for a second after the, at least locally, because, I'm doing local, national, and I do Westchester as well, a sports show, but at least locally after the Flyers and Sixers were both out of the playoffs, we just had that really exciting time where it was just so exciting there. And after that, of course, we had the Stanley Cup final and the NBA final. So, there have been things to talk about. Maybe I'm just thinking Philadelphia sports, but there's been so much to talk about. It feels like I haven't done a show in a while, at least, where I was like, man, there's just not a whole lot to talk about right now. It's been a lot to talk about, and there's a lot to talk about on this program, man. We got to get to LeBron. We got to get to LeBron, where he's going to sign, where I think he's going to resign in regards to what this means for the Sixers. I was at all the MLB All-Star, the game, derby, all the festivities, so I'm going to talk about that. Get into a Phil second half preview, a Major League Baseball second half preview in the second segment of the show. We'll talk about the World Cup final, something that annoys me about the World Cup and about a matchup that's happening today. I'll get to that. As well as the New York Mets cheating in this whole MLB dugout with iPads. We're going to talk about that, as well as something that might have been fake, might have been real, but regardless of whether it was probably more fake, was still really funny. So I'll get to that a little bit later on, as well as the Twitter question for today's show, which actually goes with one, or pretty much what I'm going to lead with, which is LeBron James in Philadelphia. And look, this is going to be pretty much, I would assume this is going to be LeBron's last go-around. Whether it's a 1 or a 2-year deal, I'm not really exactly sure what it's going to be, but this is probably going to be LeBron's last go-around. And I'm already looking at the results of the Twitter poll, because I put it up about an hour ago. I usually put the Twitter poll an hour before the show starts. And the Twitter poll is exactly what I'm leading with. And you can go vote right now at 95.3 WCHE. It's simple. And if you're a basketball fan, or if you're a sports fan, you're probably following this right now because, certain things transcend sports too, and this is one of those things. Where will LeBron James sign? Is it going to be the Cavs, Sixers, Heat, or other? And you can comment on that on Twitter if you don't think it's just the Sixers, Cavs, or the Heat. And going to be honest with you, I'm not going to tell you the results yet. I'll tell you the results in about 45 to 50 minutes from now at the end of the show. But where do you think LeBron James is going to sign? And I'm going to be real with you. And look, I commend LeBron for everything, especially since he signed with the Lakers back in 2018. Especially since LeBron signed with the Los Angeles Lakers. From that point on, for the most part, it's been the last 7-8 years of his career has been more about his brand, has been more about the business side of things, signing with Los Angeles. Now, he did win a title. He has had good years there. And has really been incredible into his late 30s and early 40s, still playing the way he is. I think there's no debate that you can make the argument that it's him or Jordan for the GOAT status, right? I don't think it's solidified or a clear-cut debate. I think it's one or the other. But LeBron is there, especially what he's doing to this point of his career. Do I want LeBron James? I have been 50-50 on whether I want LeBron. I go back and forth on it. I think about... Because at the end of the day, as a Sixers fan, I want a title, and he just makes so much sense slotting into this team. But at the same time, I just don't know if it'd work. being so many different personalities in that starting five, from Embiid to LeBron to Maxey to Jaylen Brown now. I just don't know how that would all work. Maybe I'm an idiot and maybe it would. If it would be able to work, then fine. I just don't know at this point in LeBron's career how that would work, if LeBron will want to be like the third or fourth option on the team. I just think, because he wouldn't be the number one option. It would probably be Tyrese, or it would be Jaylen Brown. And so I just don't see how. I don't know how much it will work, but maybe it would work. I mean, I just don't know with LeBron's ego going from the number two option on the Lakers team with Luka now going back to the Sixers. I don't think it will work. And so that's just how I don't think it will work here with the Sixers. I just don't think it would. And here's my other thing, too. Can we stop putting on the act like, oh, yeah, he's going to the Sixers or he's going somewhere else? He is going back to the Cavaliers. He's doing a documentary. This is pretty much probably his last swan song. Why would he not be going back to the Cavs? I don't understand. It still feels like there's a contingent of people out there, especially locally here, that think that, oh, yeah, LeBron's going to go to the Sixers because he wants to win. This is his best chance to win. And I would probably agree with that, like fit-wise, if he would want to take that role of being a third or fourth option. I mean, it would be an all-time starting lineup. Like LeBron, it would make sense. And by the way, I'm really, this is kind of a little bit of a tangent here, really annoyed with Bryce Harper, that Mr. Panderer. I mean, he is Mr. Panderer, and that he gets asked like twice about LeBron, make a pitch for LeBron to come here. He's like, yeah, well, I think he's going to the Cavs. Like, now you don't want to pander? Like, come on, man. LeBron is going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers. He's doing this documentary, again, talking about going to the Lakers 7-8 years ago, and now everything pretty much since then has really been about, LeBron James, the brand, and what he's going to do after basketball, setting up for that part of his life. It makes sense for LeBron to go to the Lakers, do that whole thing for years there, and then go back to the Cavs, where he would still have a chance to win. Like, it's not like they have a bad team. They were in the conference finals last year. He would still have a chance to win there. And I think he cares more about what his brand looks like, not, giving his, going to win another ring. I think he cares about winning another ring, but I don't think that's the number one priority. I don't think it is. So LeBron is going back to the Cavs. Let's relax. That's where I am there on the LeBron thing. And one more thing I wanted to play for you is a sound from LeBron. Him at the Fanatics Fest. I think it was with Tyrese Halliburton for his podcast. And I mean, he says trust the process here like twice, and fans go crazy. Can we please relax? But listen in. This is what happened.
I want to, join a franchise that kind of shares the same, motto as myself, and that's like practicing championship habits every day, but trusting the process more than anything. I think you trust the process of actually getting to that point.
And by the way,
I've been saying to trust the process since I was drafted in like 2003. I don't even know if Embiid was even born yet. Most number one boy.
Come on, like and if you see the clip, and you can probably see the clip on social media, like he stops. Like it seems like he stops purposely. Like he knows what he's doing. Come on, LeBron knows what he's doing. I know trust the process is just a Sixers term, but yes, we did make it famous, but. And Embiid, but like, come on, like, relax. He's just LeBron knows he knows what he's doing for his brand. He knows what he's doing. So let's settle down with that on the whole LeBron thing. All right, let's talk about baseball for the next 5 to 10 minutes. So I went to the All-Star game, I went to the Derby, I went to the Futures game. I was able to be at the All-Star Village. Incredible experience to be there for 4 days and to do all of that. Was amazing. If you've followed anything I do on social media, or that I work at 94 WIP in Philadelphia, look, that's my main gig. I was extremely grateful that I was able to get credentialed to go to pretty much those entire 4 days from the Village to the All-Star game. And shout out to Philadelphia for what they did. I mean, I thought they put on a awesome show for 4 or 5 days. It was an awesome display by the city of Philly. And, you know, the only thing, it was almost perfect. The only thing that could have been better was if the All-Star game itself was better. The All-Star game was, like, let's be real, as much as I enjoy good pitching, you know, the All-Star game, you want to see a little more action, and there's only one extra base hit, which was a tank shot by Miguel Vargas late in the game, and the American League ends up winning. And the only thing that would have been better is if the game was better, but it is what it is. I mean, not every All-Star game has been super fun to watch. I mean, it's not like every All-Star game has been fun to watch. So let's not act like here in Philly, you know, all of a sudden every All-Star game was amazing to watch before this one. Like, come on, let's relax. But, and there's some issues with the All-Star game, and maybe we can talk about that a little bit later in the show. But, and what we can do to fix it, because I don't know how much you can do to fix it, but we'll see. But being able to be at the Futures game, you know, something that, you know, I watch on TV every year, and maybe not every person's doing that because, you know, not everybody's a diehard baseball fan like I am. And being able to be at the Derby was an unbelievable. I mean, the Derby in general was awesome. The fact that we had the theater that we got to have, you know, Jordan Walker playing the role of villain, even Wilson Contreras, you know, and a lot of players feeding into like all the booing and everything, even in the introductions, like Ben Rice is like geeking and smiling the entire time he was walking out. That was awesome. Schwarber and Harper. I mean, it helped to have Schwarber and Harper. You have your two heroes that you're getting behind if you're Philadelphia. That was really awesome. So maybe every city should have. I mean, I think maybe they can take from this to have a hometown guy in the Derby every time. I think that would make for more fun. Maybe the Derby and the All-Star, the All-Star game can learn from that. So the Derby was amazing to be at. And the All-Star game was awesome to be at as well. I mean, I know that the game wasn't all that awesome, but watching the All-Star game for years, again, I'm 31, growing up watching the All-Star game for years, having the 99 All-Star game VHS tape from my mom and watching that like almost every year, like watching all these All-Star games, I get VHS taped and watching the game through the years. That was a really incredible experience to be at. So like, even though the game stunk, watching the introductions, watching something that I watch on TV every single year, was pretty cool. Was a pretty amazing experience. So those 4 days of the All-Star break was awesome. Being able to be there was truly incredible. All right, so the All-Star break, truly awesome job by Philadelphia. I'm so happy that was something that I was able to experience, and anybody else that was able to be there. You can tweet me at Rojas_media_. Let me know your experience. I would love to know what it was like for you, because it was amazing for me. All right, Phillies second half preview. So just a couple of things, and before I get to some Flyers talk here, before I get to the first break of the program, Phillies second half preview. So a couple of things. Most important player, I think, for the Phillies, and I think there's a bunch of different ways that you can go with this. And maybe it's a little bit of a layup here, but I do think that I can't lie, I think he's the most important player for the team in the second half. I think it's Trey Turner. And I think it's Trey Turner for a couple of reasons. I think Trey has had, obviously he did not have a good first half, and obviously the money that Trey is getting paid, but also I think you look at somebody like Brandon Marsh, and Brandon Marsh had obviously a great first half. He was able to be a starter in the All-Star game, and that's rightfully so. But, would we all be surprised if Brandon Marsh had a bit of a down second half? I don't think we would. Do we want Brandon Marsh to have a down second half? Obviously not. I want him to have as consistent of a season as he possibly can. But, Marsh, at one point, was leading the Major League Baseball in batting average. And, going into the All-Star break was hitting still over 300. I mean, would we be surprised if Marsh was hitting 280 at the end of the year? And would that be a bad season for Marsh? No. He might have a really good first half and then maybe a downer second half, which would mean that Trey Turner needs to step it up. I mean, Trey was paid the money he was supposed to get paid, so he can be not a under 700 OPS type of bat. And I know he's not having the season he had as a shortstop last year, but you need to step it up with the bat. That's what he was paid to do. You need to step it up and be way more productive with the bat. So Trey Turner for this offense, I think needs to be way better in the second half. He's my most important player. Biggest need at the trade deadline now, man. Now with Brad Keller out, I think it's bullpen. I think it's bullpen, actually. Bat, I still think is really important. And I think even a depth starting pitcher can be important. But I would probably go bullpen piece right now. And that's crazy to say after the last couple of years where I've just been screaming about the offense. I actually think it's bullpen. So I'm going to go bullpen arm. Getting a high leverage arm at the trade deadline, I think, is the most important thing. But it feels like they're going to need a plethora of things. I don't know how much they're actually going to spend at the trade deadline. There's only so much that you probably are going to be able to spend if you're Dave Dombrowski to make some deals. But there's definitely going to be some deals made. But I'm leaning more towards bullpen arm. Things I'm watching for for the second half, division race right now. So, the Phils lost to the Mets on Thursday night. They're going to play the Mets later on today at 4:05. But last night, behind Chris Sale, who is continuing to have a great career in his late 30s, and good for him, honestly, because was really hampered by injuries for about 4 or 5 years there between Boston, being in Boston. But the Braves won last night, so they moved up a little bit in the standings, and the Braves are 3 games in front of the Phils. But that division race is going to be one to watch. Can they win the NL East? Do they not? I might still edge out the Braves, but we'll see. Cy Young race is going to be interesting to watch between Sanchez and Wheeler, and then Mizorowski is clearly the favorite right now, but can Sanchez and Wheeler maybe have a shot to win it? And then MVP race, Kyle Schwarber, leading the majors in home runs, but can he make a case for MVP? Almost did last year, was almost right there. So Kyle Schwarber, going for 60 home runs, going for the MVP maybe. Bryce Harper, if he has a big second half, maybe go for MVP. So that's another thing that I am watching for. And then last thing I wanted to touch on here, not so don't baseball there, but wanted to talk a little bit about the Flyers. Make a few big extensions, and I do like these moves, salary cap going up in the NHL. But Trevor Zegras signed to a 4-year, $36.5 million extension. We'll see what happens with Zegras. It's coming off one of his best years of his career so far with the Flyers last year. Can he be a top-line guy? Can he be one of the best Flyers, offensive players? Can he be that guy? We'll see. But signed to a 4-year, $36.5 million contract. Jamie Drysdale signed to a 4-year, $26 million deal as well. The former Duck had a really good second half of the season with the Flyers. It was really important for them, for their defense, and for the Flyers being able to make it into the playoffs and then make a playoff run. Drysdale was big, so they signed him to a 4-year, $26 million extension. I'm really happy about both of those between Zegras and Drysdale. And then also, with the Flyers, the schedule was announced. The Flyers will be having opening night against the Pittsburgh Penguins, of course. Great move by the NHL. 7:30 p.m. at home on Wednesday, September 30th. Again, Wednesday, September 30th against Pittsburgh. It's going to be really exciting, and it's going to be a really interesting year coming off of being able to get to the second round of the playoffs, unfortunately losing to the Carolina Hurricanes, but really exciting stuff coming off the year. Can they repeat that? Can they get further? Is it going to be maybe a step back year? Maybe that was a bit of, hope not, but we'll see. Hopefully it's not. But the Flyers, coming off of what they did last year in the 2025-2026 year, what can they do heading into the 2026-2027 season? September 30th against the Pittsburgh Penguins will be the start of that. So, okay. And again, the Twitter poll question of the day at 95.3 WCHE. Where will LeBron James sign? Cavaliers, Sixers, Heat. Or you can comment or other and give me your comment on where you think LeBron will sign. All right, coming up, an all-time WNBA performance by Caitlin Clark. And she was actually, some comments she made, I have the audio of that. Didn't really care. And a preview of the World Cup final. So that's coming up right here on 95.3 WCHE. And welcome back. It is 95.3 WCHE, the Sports Wrap. If you miss any of the today's show or any other shows, you can go to 953wche.com where you can listen live to the radio station. But also, for this show or any other shows, you go to the podcast category and you can listen back to anything that you missed for the Sports Wrap or for the morning show or for Pet Buzz, whatever show that you want to catch up on or anything you missed. Or if you want to listen to past episodes. I do that with podcasts. I listen to past episodes. Promoting. All right. Okay, a couple of things I want to talk about. So, start with the biggest sporting event in the world. You always got to remember that. Maybe we don't think about that sometimes here because in the U.S. we don't really care as much about soccer. Just to be honest, let's be real, not telling any lies there. But I think care more about our four major sports. But the World Cup is the biggest sporting event in the world. Yes, Super Bowl is probably the biggest sporting event here in America, but in the world overall, the World Cup is the biggest event. But we do have the final tomorrow, Spain versus Argentina at 3 p.m. I'm going to try. Well, I am working, but I'm going to have it on in the background. I'm going to try to going to be doing the Phillies game, but I'm going to try to have it on in the background and maybe try to follow it a little bit. But Spain versus Argentina at 3 p.m. I mean, Lionel Messi going for another one. People thought he went out on top last. In 2022, but looks like he's going for it again. Pretty amazing career for Lionel Messi. So he's going to be playing with Argentina against Spain tomorrow at 3. Spain, their road there in from the quarters in the semifinal. Spain beat Belgium in the quarters, and then Spain beat France in the semis. For Argentina, they beat Switzerland in the quarters, and then they beat England in the semis, and now they are in the final. So 3 p.m. tomorrow. Looks like Argentina is the favorite. I think. No, it's Spain. I apologize. So Argentina is actually the favorite. Argentina minus 175. So Argentina is the favorite. The one thing I kind of had a bit of a gripe with, maybe not a bit, and maybe there's some soccer fans that can tell me why you think I'm wrong. Maybe there are soccer fans that feel this way. I don't know. So, I mean, look, I'm not a big fan of ties. Like, one thing in sports, not a big fan of are definitely ties. I think they're dumb. That's one thing I don't like about soccer is that sometimes there's draws, and I don't. In sports, there should be winning and losing. I don't care. Like, penalty shootout, I don't care. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. I don't believe in ties. Like, that's stupid. Okay. One thing that I don't like about the World Cup, and maybe shame on me for never knowing this, is there always been a third place game? Like, the Olympics are different because you get a gold, you get a silver, and you get a bronze medal. And to win a medal at the Olympics is an extraordinary thing, right? That's even if you win a bronze medal, it's an accomplishment to get a medal. Are there medals in the World Cup why is there a third place game? I don't care if it's the biggest event in sports. Why is there a third place game? Like I was looking at the schedule, and France is playing England today. I'm like, well, I thought these teams were out. No, they're playing for a third place game. Now again, in soccer, in Europe, in other places, maybe they just do things a little differently. I don't know. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not trying to. I'm ignorant to this. So I don't understand why is there why are we playing for a third place? Again, there's no medal in the World Cup, right? You win the trophy, and then there's the golden boot, right, for the person that gets the most goals. But I think it's ridiculous. Again, this is about winning and losing, and oh man, if I'm France or England, we win that game. Like, how hard are you going to be trying? And like it just doesn't. If I'm a player out there, I'm like, I'm playing for third place. Like, I don't care. I wanted to go play to go win. Like, I think it's just like it's a loser's match, which it literally is. It's a loser's match. Like, what are players playing for in this? I just don't get it. I don't know. And maybe I am just being ignorant and I'm being negative. Like, again, I think playing for third place is kind of it's a loser thing. It's a loser thing. Oh, you win the game. You're like, oh, yeah, we won. Third place. You're not going to win this is the World Cup. Like, come on. I mean, what if we had a third place game in the four major sports? Oh, yeah, the frickin', the Mariners play against the Brewers last year in baseball. The two teams lost in the CS. Are you kidding me? You have a 3-game series. Imagine that. Sorry, that's ridiculous. Again, the Olympics are different because you're playing for a medal. And medals mean something. There ain't no medals here. So as far as I'm concerned. Again, maybe I'm just an ignorant, extremely, extremely casual soccer fan. I don't even know if I consider myself that. But I do like soccer. But again, I just think that's ridiculous. So I did have a bit of a gripe there. Golf in the Open Championship. There were a few controversial things. So, with Bryson DeChambeau, he was penalized for. It seemed like he was trying to make more room out where he was trying to hit a shot, and he got penalized for it. He got a two shot penalty on the fifth hole. And I guess this is a big deal. Obviously it was because it was DeChambeau, and just in general, it was a big deal. So DeChambeau gets penalized, and then also Jon Rahm got a warning for throwing his club, it looked like. He got a warning, it looked like, for throwing his club, and it seemed like, or at least according to ESPN, the majors have been trying to crack down on these like misconduct policies. So Jon Rahm, he had a little bit of controversy, I guess, at the Open Championship, and right now, so Jon Rahm gets a warning for throwing his club. Bryson DeChambeau penalized, and some of the leaderboards right now, Ryan Fox and Lucas Herbert are tied for 8 under. Cameron Young, Ryan Gerard, and Jackson Suber all are at 6 under, and then 3 under, sorry, and 3 are at 6 under, and that's Sam Burns, Siwoo Kim, and Bryson DeChambeau, who I just mentioned, and then there's about how many players? There's about a lot of players tied for 9 under. Not going to name all of them. Just going to name a few: Xander Schauffele, Eric Cole, and Kazuma Kobori. So those are just a few right now of the leaderboards. And so that's what we have with the Open Championship. MLB second half. So just a few things that I am looking forward to in the second half of the Major League Baseball season. So I think number one, for sure, it's an obvious one, especially with the whole lockout looming. And with the lockout looming and the whole CBA and everything, is like MLB trade deadline. I mean, it's going to be huge. I mean, what's going to happen with Tarik Skubal? Tarik Skubal is the number one biggest one. Like, outside of that, there's not a lot of, like, huge names. Even, like, other names like Byron Buxton, who's a really good player. Buxton, the Twins are, like, in playoff race because the American League stinks. So, I mean, the Twins have the third wild card spot. They're 49-49. So are they going to sell? Like, I don't know. So the MLB trade deadline is definitely one to watch. What is going to happen at the deadline? Like, are there going to be, like, a lot of are teams going to, like, be all in on players? Or, like, what's going to happen? I mean, what's going to happen with Tarik Skubal? Which team is he going to go to? Yankees, Dodgers, which team is maybe going to go in on Tarik Skubal? So we'll see what happens with that. Another one is Yordan Alvarez going for the Triple Crown, which I think Yordan Alvarez not getting enough credit for, like, potentially, and I guess maybe because Judge is hurt right now, but Yordan Alvarez is going for the Triple Crown this year. And, I mean, currently right now, last time that I checked, like, Alvarez is pretty much leading the American League and some stats like the majors and just about, like, every slash stat, home runs, RBI, like, everything. Like, Yordan Alvarez, now that he's healthy this season, which is great to see, guy might hit 50-plus homers, win the Triple Crown, and win the American League MVP. Like, no problem. And, again, with Judge hurt right now, I mean, Alvarez maybe be the best hitter in baseball. If not number 2. So Alvarez going for that Triple Crown, something to watch for. Ohtani going for the Cy Young, definitely something to watch for. I don't know if he's going to do it. It might be still really tough, especially because of the maybe 14 starts. He's like 85 innings. So has like fantastic numbers in those starts and innings. But can Ohtani win the side again? 179 ERA right now in 14 starts, 85 and 2/3 innings, 95 strikeouts. I mean, like, awesome numbers. But Mizorowski is still my favorite for me in the National League. So, like, is Ohtani going to be able to go win that Cy Young Award, and how good of a shot does he have to win another MVP award, which would be something else as well. So Ohtani going for Cy Young. Playoff races, already kind of talked about them a little bit with the trade deadline, but Yankees and Rays over there in the American League East. Now you have the Red Sox who have won 11 straight, won their doubleheader, both games of their doubleheader yesterday. Yankees and Rays trying to win that American League East, but watch out for the Red Sox. Wild card race, again, it's crazy because that wild card race with all those teams there. Again, I mean, the Tigers are 45 and 52 and are 3.5 back of that wild card because the American League's so bad. Yankees and Rays, like I mentioned, who's going to maybe come out of the American League East there. And then National League East, again, Braves, Phillies, who's going to win the National League East. But also, watch out for the Marlins. I mean, Marlins have been one of the hottest teams in baseball, last month or so. So, I mean, they're right there. So, Braves, Phillies, Marlins, and then who's going to grab that last National League wild card spot, or who's going to finish in all three of those wild card spots? That's going to be really something to watch. Especially to go along with the trade deadline. So I think that's big. And then last one, and I know this is like playoff related, but it is something to watch for in the second half of the season, which is Dodgers going for the three-peat. And that's maybe not, especially around here, popular thing to talk about. It's like, oh, Dodgers. I think that's in baseball in general. But will the Dodgers be able to go three-peat? Would be the first one since the Yankees, 98, 99, and 2000. Can they be the first team to go three-peat since then? And I know we all hate the Dodgers for the money they spent, and maybe some people are just jealous because they've been able to do that. But Dodgers going for that three-peat. Will they be able to go do that? So those are some of my things I'm watching in the second half of the Major League Baseball season. Also, if you missed it, last weekend, Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero got into it over, I forget exactly which it was, but Bam Adebayo, I forget if he punched, or it says he struck his former teammate Tyler Hero at a Las Vegas gym last Friday. It was last Friday, but I wasn't able to do the show last week, so mentioning it now. But Bam Adebayo struck his teammate Tyler Hero last Friday, but there will be no punishment by the NBA. According to an NBA spokesperson, this was from an ESPN article, after discussing with the players involved and the NBA or NBPA, everyone would prefer to move on from this unfortunate circumstance and no further action will be taken by the league. So it looks like nothing will really happen. So nothing's really going to happen from this incident. Caitlin Clark, moving to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark had an awesome performance, a historical performance. She had 45 points, 10 assists, 6 3-pointers made, 4 steals, and 2 blocks. Last night, she had the first 40-point and 10-assist game in WNBA history. This was Caitlin Clark last night after putting on the historical performance.
Caitlin, a career-high performance on a minutes restriction. I mean, just how comfortable were you out there? You seemed like you were in a flow from the start.
Yeah, I just thought I was aggressive from the start and, missed a shot, came back, would make the next. I knew my team needed me to step up with AB out, but just proud of this group. I were down 8, I think, with 4 minutes to play. So just some true resiliency, but we got another one tomorrow. So this is great, but let's move on.
And the defense stepped up when it mattered. How were you guys able to get stops late?
Yeah, it was kind of an embarrassing performance on the defensive end, I'll be honest. So we really got to find a way to be better, and I think we can simplify a little bit, make it easier on ourselves. But like you said, we came up with big stops when we needed it, so proud of our group, got some big rebounds, made free throws down the stretch, so proud of us.
45 points. That's the most points by a Fever player in a game in franchise history. I know you're used to making history, but what does that one mean to you?
I mean, it's cool. I don't really care. And I know what I'm capable of, and I know what this team is capable of. And it's my job to help us win and be the best team in the WNBA, and I don't think we're there yet. So it's my responsibility to help us get there. So we'll keep working.
Yeah, she doesn't really care. It's cool. Doesn't really care. I like her. I like her personality and attitude. And really, really awesome performance last night from Caitlin Clark. And she's been in a lot of headlines for a lot of controversial reasons. And I don't even know if it's being on her part, but just kind of how it's gone. But awesome performance, a historical performance. Again, first 40-point and 10-assist game in WNBA history. That's pretty awesome. And thank you to Ion for that was what network the game was on. So Clark on her performance, pretty amazing. All right, coming up, Adam Ottavino, exposing his former team, the New York Mets, for this whole MLB dugout. iPads in the dugout thing, and expose his former team, saying they were the first team to do it. Also, a really, really hilarious thing that happened at the Fanatics Fest, not just the LeBron thing, but Tom Brady smacked Logan Paul. Was it real? Was it fake? I don't know, but I want to talk about it next. So that's coming up right here on 95.3 WCHA. Welcome back, 95.3 WCHE. It's Francisco Rojas here on the Sports Wrap. One more segment to go till we hand it off to the Kristen Hagopian Show. And as always, 10 to 11 a.m. here on WCHE. First thing I wanted to start with was the MLB banning the use of iPads in dugouts. So, if you missed it, this happened yesterday? Yeah, this happened yesterday. So, MLB is restricting iPad usage in dugouts to prevent the tablets from running AI to help make strategical decisions. And former reliever Adam Ottavino said that the Mets' use of technology helped prompt this move. So this was Adam Ottavino, and this is what he had to say when he was asked about it on his stream. I think it was Baseball and Coffee is what it's called. But this is what Adam Ottavino had to say about this.
Did you see the story on MLB banning the custom tab on the in-dugout iPad? Any thoughts? Yes, I knew about this for a while. the Mets were actually the main team that got cracked down on. They had an AI program that was very expensive apparently, and they were bragging about it a little bit early on in the year. Some of the coaches that I know were talking about it from around the league, and they had basically an AI program helping them pick pitches, and I think some other stuff, but MLB got wind of it and nipped that right in the butt, so apparently they weren't the only team, but I knew about it from the Mets angle, which, they tried to throw some money at the situation. Steve ponied up for, I think this program, from what I heard, was several $100,000 to have, but...
Several $100,000 to have. That's insane. I think if you're the Mets, think of these other teams, like, again, it's almost like going back to, like, the Astros cheating. Again, if you're not, I'll be real, and like, again, like over the years with the Astros scandal, I kind of lightened up on it a little bit. I was like, all right, like, look, man, they weren't the only team. There was rumors about the Yankees. You had the Apple Watches with the Red Sox, and you had discussion about other teams doing it. Doesn't mean you can't be mad at the Astros. Trust me, I was. But look, if your team's in Major League Baseball, look, and probably any sport, you're always trying to get one up on everybody else. And if something's, especially at this point, I don't think this was like illegal, right? This wasn't illegal, but you had this AI program that was basically like helping you do things for you, which is what we have like ChatGPT and things like that now for. There's going to be ramifications that happen. Like MLB finds out about this, and it was going to get cracked down on. Again, the sign stealing with the Houston Astros, with the Apple Watches, with the Red Sox. Like, these things are going to happen. And it is kind of funny that it happens to be the Mets that are the first team that gets cracked down upon. It is. It's pretty funny, let's be real. So the New York Mets and Adam Ottavino talking about it on his stream. I mean, Adam Ottavino played for the Mets from 22 to 24 to finish out his career, and he said they were one of the first teams. I mean, I guess he can say this now that he's retired. Now I think he's working for the Yankees with Yes. I mean, he played some years for the Yankees in 2019, 2020, and finished his career and pitched like inning in 2/3 in 2025 last year. But Adam Ottavino, yeah, I mean, I'm sure what does that matter for him at this point, especially with the news of MLB doing that. So pretty crazy stuff. So so Adam Ottavino saying what he said about the iPads thing, and MLB cracking down on this. So this was interesting. Tom Brady was on stage with Logan Paul. I wish I had better audio of this. Really, you can only see this and you just hear the noise. But Tom Brady was on stage with Logan Paul at the Fanatics Fest, and they were kind of getting into it a little bit, and he smacked him. And I was like, oh wait, this is huge. And then I realized oh, this is fake. And I didn't even, gonna be real with you, I don't follow wrestling. Logan Paul is a WWE star, so of course this was staged. And I thought I saw on social media that they had hugged it out apparently after, I'm sure it's staged. I'm sure Tom Brady was really going to risk his public image by slapping Logan Paul. Yeah. Either way, though, if you haven't seen the video, please go watch the video. It's hilarious regardless. They're just sitting there on stage and Brady just smacks him. It's almost like the Will Smith Chris Rock thing, which is also hilarious. Gonna be real. When that happened, I think I watched that 50 times because it was just hilarious. And I think that ended up being real, right? Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. That ended up being a legitimately real thing. So it was hilarious. This was kind of funny too. Again, definitely fake because it's a WWE thing, and I guess are we going to see Tom Brady on WWE then? I mean, I guess that would make sense in a way. I don't know. I can't see I don't know. Can I see Brady doing that? Not really, but I mean, he's a big guy. It would be funny. So I guess this is going to be a WWE storyline of Brady and then Logan Paul. Like, well, what's that? I was like, what's that going to look like? Tom Brady wrestling? I don't know. But either way, it's again, watch the video. It's hilarious of Brady smacking Logan Paul. Apparently this started because Logan Paul said something about training for WWE has made him seem like he could, like football players weren't any big deal or something like that. Maybe I'm getting that wrong, and I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. But he made some comparison about being a WWE wrestler to being an NFL player, something like that. But it was pretty funny. Look, if you know me, I'm really into card collecting. I definitely got back into it over the last 7-8 years. And if you missed this story, Cooper Flags, it was at the Fanatics Fest. And the Fanatics Fest really has become like a big thing, has it not? And he was there, and somebody from Topps gave him his NBA debut jersey patch, his rookie card, which is, goes for a lot of money, and he signed it, and now it is going to be worth a lot more money now because he signed it, and he signed it at the Fanatics Fest, and so the current price, it went for $366,000 in a March auction, but the jersey that Flag wore in the first half of his debut, which is what the card's patch was removed from, sold for $1 million in February, and then record paid for a jersey. Record paid for a jersey at an NBA auctions. So pretty crazy. And I was looking, like, how much would you pay if you had the money and you were into card collecting or something like that? How much would you pay? Because I think the highest paid card in the history of sports cards was a Mickey Mantle, 1952 Mickey Mantle card, and that went for $12.5 million. That is absurd. And it went back in August of 2022. It went for $12.6 million. That is crazy. I don't know how much I paid for that. I remember when growing up, it was all about the Honus Wagner card, and I made Honus Wagner card. It still is a big deal. Back in August of 2022, the highest known price paid for the T206 Wagner card was in a private sale for $7.25 million. And I always thought that would be the GOAT of cards, and it still feels like it's the GOAT. And there's actually a Netflix show about it. It's called the King of Collectibles, The Golden Touch. I'm gonna have to go watch that. But that sold for over $5 million, so it wasn't the GOAT, at least according to price. So thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's crazy to see the prices that. Look, I'm not really into look, I don't really spend all that. Don't get me wrong, I do spend money on cards, but I don't spend an absurd amount. I think last time I checked, I have a Hurston Waldrop Bowman prospect. I think it's a Bowman Chrome prospect card, and it's worth $100. I think you can buy on eBay or something like that. It would be really cool to have a card that was worth a lot, but I don't know. I would never, depending on the card, I really wouldn't spend all that much money on a card, depending on what it is. But the prices of cards have gotten to be so absurd that how much would I really spend? I don't know. I'm also, I don't know. Since I was a kid, there's something about buying a pack of cards and just getting the pack and just being surprised, not knowing what you're going to get. And there's also something about buying a pack of cards and pulling a card that you really like, or even just the cards that you're just fine with, and just being that's my card. That's mine. You can buy a single card from a store, or you can trade cards with somebody, but there's not as much value in that. It's still fun and you still want that card. But there's something about pulling a card from the pack. I don't know. There's just something about that. All right, to wrap up the show, let us do the Twitter question. at 95.3 WCHE is where you could have voted, and you could still vote. You can go follow, and you can vote on the next Twitter polls for future shows. But where will LeBron James sign? Look, man, I'm going to be real. I'm still disappointed in the Sixers fan base. So the Sixers came in front, number one, at 35%. Cavs at 30%. Other 22%, and then Heat at 13%. I tweeted this out a couple of days ago. I still, even if you really think it's the Sixers or somebody else, other than the Cavs, like, come on, deep down you know LeBron is going to re-sign with the Cavs, man. Like, come on. We've been trying to tell ourselves this for the last decade that LeBron can come to the Sixers. He's not coming to the Sixers, man. Like, this is probably going to be his swan song. He's going to go off into the sunset with the Cavs. Like, it makes the best sense for his career. He started with the Cavs, hometown kid, won the title there in 2016. Maybe he has a good shot to go do it again over the next couple of years. I'm not exactly sure, but he has a pretty good shot. Okay? So, LeBron James is going to re-sign with the Cavs. I'm really, 35% of us think he's going to, the most of us are signing. He's not signing with the Sixers. You know he's not. You can go hope he will. And don't get me wrong. If we signed LeBron, are you kidding me? I'd be going crazy. I'd be doing cartwheels in this studio. LeBron's not signing. He's going back to the Cavs. All right. That'll do it for another Sports Trap. Kind of felt like I ended off negative there. I hope he signs. I don't know. Do I hope he signs Sixers? I don't know. Go Phils. Go rebound and win. And looking forward to the World Cup final. So that'll do it for me, Francisco. I will see you guys next weekend. Have a great rest of your weekend.